Alright, so today I'm going to show you how to use the Shape Builder tool to create a logo. So I am using VMware as an example because when I went to their website, this is their logo, and that doesn't seem very techy to me, so I thought I would kind of update it a little bit. If you guys are struggling to come up with ideas for logos, look at companies that you already use and maybe try to create something new. Okay, so what I have done is I have sketched out some ideas, and let me open up my layer panel because I have it here. This is the idea that I actually came up with. Oops, where did it go? Oh, right here. All right, so this guy right here, I am going to be using this just as a reference. Okay, so here I have the letter V, the letter M, and the letter W inside of this rhombus square. Okay. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is create this square or this rhombus. I'm going to go ahead and use my shape tool. And this is all done by just using shapes. Okay. I didn't use any letters. I just used the shape tool and the line segment tool. So I'm going to draw out my first shape, and I'm going to increase the stroke size. So I am using a stroke no fill on black. It's good to start your logo designs in black and white. That way you know if they're going to look good or not when you convert them to color. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and rotate this. So I'm holding shift, and when I hold shift, it rotates in 15-degree increments. All right, so that's exactly how I wanted it. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is get this V. All right, so what I'm going to do is copy this shape. So I'm going to hold the Alt key, click on it, and drag up. And I'm going to put it right about there. All right, so I'm not looking at what's on the outside of my shape. I'm looking at what's on the inside. Okay, so just this piece right here. All right, now I'm going to make my M. And this is going to be a little bit different than my sketch because my sketch should have gone up a little bit higher, but it didn't. So I'm going to make a copy of this one again. So holding Alt, and I'm going to drag down. All right, so this is a part of my M right here. Okay, so this is this piece. All right, and then I'm going to make my W. Okay, so I'm going to hold Alt, select it one more time, hold Alt and drag down. And this is that inside piece of the W. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and select everything and just line everything up nice and center. Make sure it is. Okay, and then I need to add some additional pieces using the line segment. So I need to add the sticks of my W and my M. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use this line segment tool. Okay, this is still a shape. And what I'm going to do is just, this is really important. So when you're using the shape builder tool, you want your shapes to actually overlap. That way you can get rid of things and combine shapes to make them look like what you want them to. So I'm going to go a little bit above my edge here. So I want my M, I want it to cross over this point right here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, but then I'm going to erase it. So I'm going to come up about right here, and I'm going to hold the shift key. And when I hold the shift key, that lets me draw a straight line. Okay, I'm probably too far over, it looks like I am. So I'm going to shift it over just a little bit. What I wanted was, and I actually need to go down just a little because I want to close in this space right here. Okay. So what I wanted when I did that is I wanted this piece right here, this section where it overlaps and it crosses. I need my line to go right through the center of that. Okay, and if you notice, it's not. So I do need to shift it over just a little bit more. And let me see if I can, I don't know, right, maybe just a little bit more. Okay, perfect. All right, so I'm going to make a copy of this. So I'm going to select this line, hold the Alt key and the Shift key. And when I hold the Shift and Alt at the same time and I click and drag, what should happen is should hold it in place so it doesn't move up or down. Right, perfect. Okay, so now I have my M. I can see it. It's right here. Okay, you have to use your imagination. It's okay. And then I'm going to get rid of like some extra pieces. Now the next thing I'm going to do is make my W the same way using the line segment tool. So I'm going to click right through the center of that, holding shift. I'm going to click and drag up. And let's go probably to right about there. And then I'm going to hold Alt and Shift and copy this line and place it right about there. Okay. All right. So now I see my W, I see my M, and I see my V. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of everything on the outside, okay, using my Shape Builder tool. So I'm going to select my entire document. And before I get rid of everything, I actually need to convert this to outlines. So I'm going to go to Object, and I'm going to go to Expand, okay, and then I'm going to hit OK. This is going to break every single piece up. So if you notice, when I did that, it created these little boxes here. Okay, so we're going to get rid of some of those. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to use the Shape Builder tool, which is right here. Shift and M is the shortcut. And I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to hold the Alt key. When I hold Alt on the Shape Builder tool, it gives me the minus or the subtract. So I want to subtract everything on the outside. So when I start clicking and dragging, you'll notice that it deletes it. And I'm going to have to probably come in here pretty close to get these little edge pieces. So holding Alt again. Oops. Make sure you're holding Alt and delete that. All right, that looks good. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the bottom part. Holding Alt and click and drag. And you want to come in here pretty close because you don't want to accidentally delete a piece that you might need. All right, that looks pretty good. I think it looks like it deleted a piece or something right there. I don't know what happened. Let me go back a couple steps. Because if I were delivering this to a client, I don't know what happened to that piece. It's almost like it wasn't there. If I were delivering this, that would be an issue. Oh, but I don't know what happened to that little piece. I would do this. We'll just pretend like it was there for this demonstration. All right, so zoom out. That looks pretty good. That actually looks just like my drawing, okay? But there's some more things that I actually want to do. Looks pretty good. Now that I am in here. All right, so let's go ahead and take care of that. So what I want to do is I want to get rid of this piece right here and this piece right here, and maybe make an opening right here and maybe make an opening over here. So let's go ahead and continue. I mean, this is pretty good. Like, this could be something. Let's actually make a copy of this and try doing some other things with it. So I'm holding Alt, dragging over to my new artboard. All right, so this is where those additional artboards come in handy, so you can modify your original logo. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and select it all again, and I'm going to use the Shape Builder tool, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to delete this one. Oops, holding Alt, delete that one and that one. And I don't want to delete that. Oh, and this one. All right, and then let's go ahead and come in here and give it a line. That's even something different. So let's go ahead and select that and create a copy of it. And this gives your client options. Okay, So I don't have an additional artboard, so I'm just going to drag it right here. All right, so what I want to do is I want to actually create a knockout shape right here. I'm going to make an opening. So I'm going to hold, I'm going to draw out a small rectangle, right, maybe like right about there. And I'm going to copy it and put it right here on this side too. So holding Alt, using my selection tool. Holding Alt, you can click and drag. Ooh, and I noticed something when I'm doing this is that the gap between this M and W is not the same as this M and W. All right, so depending on if you were delivering this, that might be an issue. So you might want to move that over just a little bit. And you got this piece right here to contend with. So let's go ahead and fix that. We'll clean it up really quick. And then minus. All right. Hopefully that works. Let's see. Oh, and then I got that piece up there. That's all about the little details in graphic design. Okay, it's very important to pay attention to those small details. I'm gonna make this a little bit longer because I have a white gap there. I think that might be what happened before too with that other piece. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and, oh, it's still not quite. All right, there we go. Now it should be good. And Alt, knock that out. All right, and now I can select these pieces. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to make a copy of this one and bring it up to the top because I want to actually do it up here as well. And I want that distance to be exactly the same. So I'm going to rotate this. So I'm going to hold Shift and rotate. I can grab it. And then I can place it right there. And then I'm going to make a copy again and bring it over here. Hold Shift and rotate. That's probably too far over. And then probably right in here. Oh, and I got that piece right there too. Actually, I think I can, no, I can't delete that. Holding Alt, come in here and put this right here. We'll select this one, hold Alt. Oops, around that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and delete some pieces. Come down here, I need to select everything using the shape builder tool, hold the Alt key, subtract. Oops, I got that little piece here. Little piece right there. These line segments. All right, let's see what we've got going on. Huh. All right, so here you notice I have 3 different versions from just this one. Okay, so I have this one, I have this one. Uh-oh. Group these together. Group, not in group. Oh my gosh. Did I? Okay, I didn't. Okay. So you want to group your objects together. So when you do move them, they all move together. So I have 3 completely different looks, right? So I can make a copy of this again. And I'm going to try something else. So let's go ahead and zoom in. And I'm going to go ahead and use my pathfinder tool, or I could use my shape builder tool again and just leave it on plus and just draw across all of these. But for this, it'll be faster to just use your pathfinder tool. So the pathfinder tool is here. If you don't see it, go to window and then pathfinder and it should pop up. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the unite, and this is going to join all of these anchor points together because right now I have a ton of anchor points. If I click here, all of these dots or all of these end pieces and all of these little tiny loose pieces are anchor points. And if they were to create something like a sign, that could be an issue for the sign maker. Right. Ooh, I got that piece right there too. That's kind of ugly, but all right, we'll leave it. Okay, so let's go ahead and select this. And now that we've united them, we can use our direct select tool. And let's try to round these corners using the widgets. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this in, see what happens. It's very, actually, I think I need to increase the size of my stroke. So let me do that first. So I'm going to go ahead and come in here and give it a stroke. So when I combined them, it filled them in rather than um, giving them the stroke. So when I fill it in with a stroke and turn this off and see what happens. Oh, see, there's something else. All right, so it's all about experimenting. Okay, so when I added the stroke, that made it a little bit thicker, and that'll give me some more options. Let me go ahead and grab all of this, and I'm going to pull in from the corners on both the inside and those center points and see what happens. And I can even do that on like the inside of here. Why is it not worked? Let's see. Window, Pathfinder. There we go. Now I should be able to round corners. If I wanted to, I could come in here and I don't know why that corner doesn't have a widget on it. It's very strange to me. Why doesn't? But this one does. Something's going on. I don't know what it is. Right, so I would obviously have to figure out what the heck happened right there and why it doesn't have that widget on it. But anyways, so you could come in here and round all of those corners out and the sides, make it a little bit thicker, and that's even something completely different than what I started with. And then as I'm looking, I could probably come in here and delete that piece. So if I move this over, oops, holding Alt, select it all, group it together. Using the shape builder tool again, I might have to actually create the outlines. Let's see if I can still do that. It might be too late. So object, expand, and see what happens. Okay, I don't think that's going to work now, but I was thinking about getting rid of this piece right here. I could do that using the knife tool, but that defeats the whole purpose of this tutorial because I was just showing you how to use the shape builder tool. So we're just going to leave it at that. And then you can present, these 4 different designs to the client and see how they feel about them.